Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stoney Shire Soapbox Edition. Today we have Tony Longtoes with us. Tony, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
It's Levesque, but
yeah, Tony Levesque.
it's actually
Longtoes. Yeah.
Well, that's what Levesque means. No, it's not. I had to wait till you asked me that.
Really?
Is that what Levesque means?
In different language.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
I'd go along
It's
with
Cherokee.
it too. It's Cherokee.
Yeah, or Japanese, I don't know which.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Dirty knees. Look at these. So you do so much with I know. I'm sorry.
Brought me back.
Yeah,
Milk, lemonade. Yeah.
Milk, lemonade. Yeah, down the corner. So you do a lot with music, radio, content creation, working with your daughter. How would you describe yourself?
Busy.
Yeah. Perfect. Yes.
I don't know. It's being bored is, it's tough.
Yeah.
And the further I get in life, the more I realize, I haven't done anything yet. So I'm trying to get it all in now, because the first half of my life I didn't,
And being bored is not a
treading
good thing.
water.
Being inside your own head is even worse.
Yeah, but being bored is good for being creative too.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. It gives you time to, because you
Yeah.
create. Your
Kids
own
don't know
music
how to
and
be
stuff.
bored nowadays.
No,
Kids
no,
these
they
days.
don't. Not at all. They got technology, man. We had to play with sticks.
Yeah, it was fun.
Twiddle your thumbs.
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
I still once in a while
Yeah.
grab a stick in the woods and
Yeah, I do random
hit my
stuff.
wife with it. Playfully.
Stick it to her.
Good one.
How'd you get started in radio?
Oh. Well, my friend Dana, I played in a band with Dana Krause.
Dana Krause? Oh, okay.
Yeah, for a long time, years and years. And he worked at the Moose radio station for a good 25 years. And he was getting ready to move. He was moving out of the area, couldn't keep the job anymore. And I was kind of in a job that just kind of, it was a placeholder. It was a nice job to where I could still do my music stuff on the side. It didn't interfere. So he said, hey, you should go take my job at the Moose. I said, I know old country. At that time, the Moose radio station was playing new country. They didn't really play any old stuff. I said, I know old country, but I don't. He's like, you don't need to know anything about the music. It's, play the song and
it's
reading
aloud.
Just the in between is what matters, getting from the commercials to the.
Yep.
So I'd done work in home recording, so I knew a lot of the programs that they were using. I said, all right. So I sat in with Bill, and he printed off a script from the computer. He said, here, can you read this? I'm like, right now? He's like, yep, go. So I read the script. He's like, okay, yeah. You know the equipment? All right, yeah, we'll try out. So.
And then you've been there
stuck
ever
with
since?
it. Yeah.
Really?
It was 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
So Bill pretty much trained you.
Oh, there's no training.
Yeah.
No, Dana had, I think he was there for another week, maybe 2 weeks, but it was Fair Week, which for the radio station is busy time.
That's where I started, was Fair Week.
Yeah, they throw you in the fire.
Yep, absolutely.
Here you go.
Yeah, you're going live back to the station with Tony or Brian. Yeah, yep.
I think.
Were you in the
second
station?
day I was there, I was on air by myself.
At the station?
Yeah, in Lowville.
And that was during the fair or
during the fair?
In the mornings too, yeah.
Oh, it was before the fair. So production is heavy. So leading up to the fairs, there's a lot of work that goes into making all the commercials.
Yep.
And it's a heavy advertising time. So there's a lot of commercials that need to be made.
Yep.
In the industry, we call them ads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you're really good at it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really good at it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Except for that freaking Fox Brothers one. It's what everybody says, though. But they get so many people off that ad, man.
It works.
It really does
Negative
work.
press is press.
You get people, either make them happy or angry, and they're going to come talk to you about it.
They know who you're talking about.
Yep.
You say bro, and they're like, oh, Fox Brothers.
Yeah, Fox Bros, bro. Yeah. What's a typical day like as a radio host?
My job has evolved over the years. So originally I started in the afternoons. So I had an afternoon show from 3 till 6. And so leading up to that, it would be a couple hours of production, which production means making all the commercials, all of the pre-recorded content, liners, which are like leading into a song or leading
You're
into...
listening to the Moose.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So creating all of that, because a lot of it comes from scratch, especially a small radio station like ours. And then 3 hours of being on air, so reading the weather. And that's how I started. And then eventually the lady that did the traffic, which traffic is, we're not live 24/7. So while people aren't live on air, it needs to be put into the system that's got blocks of 3 minutes of commercials. And so all of that needs to be put together. And when people put in their orders for, people want ads played from 4 till 6, and all that needs to be put into the system. So I did that job, which is called traffic. So I put all of the commercials in the system, build the logs for the next day. Yep. And so I did that for a good chunk of my career, on top of also being live in the afternoon. And then when George passed away, it was Brian in the morning by himself. And so we killed off the afternoon show for a while, and I went on to the morning show. So then it was kind of...
Thank you. Like, you're in Lowville, he's in Boonville, and you're interchanging, talking on the mics. You do a great job.
Well, it's taken some time to make it
the adjustments
smooth. But thank you. So then I would come in the morning and do the morning show, which usually involves an hour of prep before that to get all the birthdays together, all the emails, the weather looked up, everything, done up. And then afterward, I would do the traffic and production. So a good chunk of...
so full time.
There's not many people, as you know, that work at this station, two stations to make it run. So everyone chips in. And now I've moved over to sales. So I come in early in the morning, do my prep work, do the radio show, and then once I'm done, out on the road doing sales.
About 9 o'clock.
Yep, 9. Get a few things tied up at the studio, some orders put in, and then out on the road doing
then you
sales.
Got a great relief DJ in the afternoon now.
Yes, we do. Malcolm's doing a great job.
Yeah, he loves.
I'm proud to say I trained him, and
you trained him right.
He took off quick. He's a bright kid, and he nails it in the afternoon. He makes the show his own.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
and that's really what you want in the afternoon show.
Absolutely.
The afternoon slot has always been kind of, that's the cool guy spot.
Yeah, it is.
That's the you can get a little weird, get a little funky with it because the listenership isn't as intense. First thing in the morning, people want their news. They want their weather. They want,
But like that 3 to 6, though, that's your drive time a lot.
Yep.
So people are listening, or they're getting home and they're listening.
They want to be entertained with enough information to cool down their workday.
Just to to level out to get home and start something new.
Yeah.
You do really good at it, man.
Well, thank you.
Got any quick tips for beginners?
For
like editing or recording.
Editing, it's always good to have a high quality product right off the bat. So when you're recording, spend more time. I think it's Abraham Lincoln said if I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 7 hours sharpening my axe. So prepare yourself.
Yeah, pre-read.
This setup you guys have here, it's a lot of prep work that goes into, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
So when it comes to recording, the same thing, get your mic set, the volume set before you get into it, and that makes editing so much easier.
Yeah, because then you can chop out, I'll record the same thing 4 times, and pick the parts I like, put it together, turn my volume up, and
record to edit.
Good.
Especially when you're working in radio, know that you're going to edit it. Yeah. So if you screw something up, start that sentence over completely, then do a quick edit. So you get the whole thing recorded, the raw copy, and then you can go in and I said that already. Cut that part, cut, and then do your finer edits to put it all together.
Because I'll leave if I make a mistake, I'll count to 3 seconds, and then I'll start. So I know to chop that before that sentence out.
I do a lot of...
Yeah,
and I give myself a visual marker on there.
Yeah,
now he's got one.
Yeah, yeah. How did you pick which albums you talk about on your channel?
Oh, the podcast.
Yes.
So I've got a podcast with my daughter. We haven't done it in a while. Not really sure the fate on it. She's 10 years old, and when we started the podcast, I said, this is her. So if she wants to be done doing
So
it,
it's pretty much
we're done.
Pip's podcast, or well,
It's
videos.
our podcast,
Yeah,
but she's gets the final. I'm not going to push a 10-year-old to do
incredible.
something she doesn't want to do.
yeah.
So
We have
she
a lot of
loves doing
fun.
it. It takes a lot of time, as you know, putting into a
She does a
podcast.
good job. She does funny liners and funny she
She's
reads
a
stuff.
natural.
Could she read aloud like you can?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I like my reading aloud skills. That's why I don't do a lot of it. I like to sounds like I'm live, and I'll record something and put it in the file and just play it. Hey, it's 12:01. You know, I'm about
Right.
this, and like I'm live, but I edit it because I'm dyslexic, so I mess up and I stutter and I'll be like dad, like dip and pad instead of dad.
Oh,
and
then
pip,
you have days where
know?
you just have the yips, and that's just what it is. But the key to radio, especially, is because you're in a booth by yourself, is act like you're talking to one person. A lot of times you want to address the world because that's what you're doing. You know. But if you treat it as if I'm telling one person this information, then and you're telling your friend.
Yeah,
so
it's
there's
just a
some
regular-
forgiveness there, and then and you're in a box by yourself.
And we all make live mistakes too.
Oh, we've done that. Yeah.
when you and
Forget and leave the mic on.
Did you show? did you train Pip in editing?
Yeah, she likes to edit. In
Does
fact,
she?
she's been coming to work with me since she was like 3 years old. So to go on air before she even really knew what it was, you know. So it's
Or
never
she,
been an
started
issue.
listening to you on radio.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
And then so for editing, she doesn't, you know, she likes that part. She's always playing on the computer, and of course, kids are, you know, younger these days getting on a computer,
you show
they
them
know what they're doing a lot more than I do.
You're locked
a lot
out
of
of your
time.
tablet. Give it to your 5-year-old. Yeah.
But we have a podcast called Pip, Dad, and Music, and what we do is we were picking an album. At first, it was a weekly podcast, which is just it's a pile of work
lot,
and deadlines for what reason, you know. So we would pick an album, we'd both pick it together, and then we would go through track by track, listen to it off camera, and then talk about it. And we would spend like the week leading up listening to nothing but that album so that we can have ideas and take notes. And it was really interesting. I think she was 8 when it started. You know, the point of view of an 8-year-old hearing these songs and what she thinks the meanings are.
It's incredible because their first initial thoughts. That's really cool.
Yeah. But the way that we picked them out was just, you know, I didn't want to do albums that I knew everything about as much. You know, we did a few of those, but it was nice the discovery together.
What was the craziest one you let her pick that you kind of were like, you know, kind of
we did an episode for her birthday called Pip's Picks, and I just let her pick a bunch of songs. So rather than an album, she picked all the songs. So we did everything from bad lip reading, a song, Yoda's song on there. What is it?
I did not know that.
Oh, you gotta look those up. Yeah,
that's cool.
To Journey, she's a big Journey fan, and then a few songs I didn't care for, but it's you know, it's a podcast about music, so it doesn't have to be positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can just be what you get out of the song, good or bad.
Because some songs like that are like they sound like heavy metal and stuff, but the lyrics are actually talking about something like really cool and incredible. You know, like the first time they drove a car or something, but you're screaming about it. You're like, wow, man, do people understand the words to this song? Because it's really good, you know.
So we got the podcast started. We had the idea for it. I took her down to a Syracuse Mets game. She wanted to go to a Mets game. My wife not really into sports, so I'm like, well, Pip and I will go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it was an hour and a half ride in the car, and I said, oh, let's listen to an album. She's getting into rock music, so we put on Pink Floyd's The Wall. I'm like, this is a fantastic album. And as we started listening to it, I had to turn it down and tell her, I'm like, hey, so he's talking about, and I explained the whole thing, and the concept of a concept album to her was just amazing, which I always say this about the younger generation, they really don't get albums.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's
singles.
It's all singles,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted her to have an appreciation for the artwork of a song, but in the bigger realm of an album.
Yeah, like
it's a bigger piece of
8 to 13.
It all fits together, and especially a concept album. And that to me is it's the perfect concept album.
What do you mean by concept album?
All the songs are, you know, a rock opera is a little bit different, but all the songs tie back to a central theme or a story. You know, something that all the songs fit together.
Yeah.
You know,
cool.
Maybe not, you know, one ends and another one starts necessarily, but
does the name of this album contribute to the concept of the whole album?
Yeah. So
typically, it's right.
Yeah, like a concept album, like Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles. It was all the concept was that they're not the Beatles anymore; they're this other band, Sgt. Pepper. So it allowed them to work outside of what they're known for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
to kind of broaden their horizons.
Huh.
So Pink Floyd's The Wall is just an amazing album, and so we spent the whole trip just talking about the album, and on the way back, it was maybe I forget, you know, just a small portion of the way back that the album was done, and she's like, "Can we start it over?" I said, "Yes, we can." And so then I started thinking, "Oh yeah, and also this part." So I'm explaining to it. So that's how we got the idea. Hey, maybe we should do this on a microphone.
Record it, yeah.
And we did it all audio to begin with, and then went to video.
That's amazing.
It was nice to discover, and a lot of bands that we really like would come out with a new album. Mm-hmm. So we're like, let's jump on it as soon as it comes out and just listen to nothing but that for a week, and then do an episode on it. And we actually had bands, you know, give us stuff early. Nice. And then we had bands that would message us back. Really? And we had one band, the Hoot and Hollers, who sent us a video back.
Really?
That they'd listened to the podcast, and they sent us a video from their van on the road, saying they listened to it and answered our questions that we had.
Really?
So
that's incredible.
It was
So then, do you have audio video of you guys watching that video and responding, like talking about it?
I don't think we have video of watching the video, but I believe I played it. It's in audio form.
Talk about it.
And also, we ended up meeting the band, and we went down to Syracuse to see them at Funkin' Waffles, and they invited us back to do an interview. So one of our episodes is our interview with the Hoot and Hollers in the green room, and there's pictures and videos.
That's incredible.
So
you get called back on stage when you go meet people because you were with the Moose of the Blizzard.
Oh, I throw the way to the station around way more than I should.
I would if I could.
For a long time.
Because I've said that to Lisa.
I work at a radio station. Oh, come on back.
Yep. Because like Cooper Allen, when I met him, I was like, I've been playing your music since we found out you were coming, so people know who you are, and like, oh man, I appreciate it. And then there were so many people at his concert,
right?
And a lot of it was due to the Moose, you know, promoting the heck out of him coming. Well, and we do that every year, but he was like a brand new, like TikTok, Instagram star, so it wasn't like an older band. He still had music coming, a lot of new music coming out. So for him, it was incredible.
Especially in the old days, that's how bands used to promote and build their audience was through radio and then through touring afterwards. Music has changed a lot since then, but
really,
I'd like to think that
I don't like some videos, like because I'll listen to a song and in my head I'm thinking stuff, and I watch a video and I'm like, man, the video ruined the song for me. Like I don't like it as.
I think it depends. It depends on how much input the artist has in the video. Because a lot of times they're like, we need a video for this, and they write a
somebody
script
makes it. Yeah.
But I like watching a lot of the early rock videos from the 60s and 70s when it was just the band rocking out.
The band on stage.
That was cool.
Yep. Like on a TV show where they're
or the old Beatles albums where they're messing with reversing the film and making it really psychedelic, and it kind of adds to it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. What's the most unforgettable gig you've ever played?
Oh, I find that a lot of the gigs that you would think is just, it's another gig, those are some of the best ones. We talked before the podcast started about the American here in Boonville, and it's just a small bar. It's I don't want to say it's nothing special because it is really special.
It's the friendliest place in town is their slogan, and they're not lying.
I believe so.
They really are not lying.
But it's not the venue as much as it is the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the people that they attract, I mean, I played there a bunch of times on a Saturday at like 3 p.m. The place would be packed.
Yeah.
And just people really enjoying what you do.
Yeah.
I can think of one gig that I played there, and a lot of times when you're playing music, the bar owners are like, turn it down. I mean, I've over the years learned to, keep it where it should be.
Yeah.
But that was one of the only places they're like, turn it up. And the crowd was telling me that, and I'm looking at the bartender or the bar owner. She's like, yeah, turn it up.
Go for it.
Okay.
That's cool.
Those people wanted to rock out. So I remember a gig.
And they really dance and stuff there, too.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because it's an energy that you're putting out and that you're getting back.
Yep.
So when the crowd is into it, that makes you maybe not play better, but play with a different energy.
Yeah, because the energy is just lifting up the whole time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool how they got it set up. So that's like your favorite venue, per se.
I don't want to say favorite venue because I've got a lot of favorites.
There's so many you go to too.
Coach Light, where I basically started all my shows.
That's beautiful up there in Birmingham,
even before the new building, when it burned down, it was just before it burned down, it was just a little stage, that high of a stage, and you had to move out of the way for people to go to the bathroom. So it was a whole different.
It's
thing.
on the left, right? You take a left, it's down on the left. It's that
go
big
up into
new
Birmingham,
building.
take a left, and it's pretty much the first place on the left.
That guy's really, really nice.
Bob Doney is, and Shelly, his wife, they have built an incredible thing there. And
you've
taken
been there
decades of just being good people to the people that come in there.
Yeah, not treating them as if they're
also, on Facebook, he will promote every other bar and every other band.
Yes, that's what I've liked about him.
That's what works. It's a community.
Yeah, he really does. He'll be like, hey, Tony Longtoes is playing up in the other side of Lawville tonight. We don't have anybody. Go check him out. It's like you're sending people away from your business to go, but that's really good. That's why he gets repeat customers and people like him, because it's not all like, oh, don't go there, come here. Yeah,
and
he really
cares.
Yeah, and he'll be like, first time I talked to him, he's like, oh, tell Tony hi. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah,
and there's a lot of bars and a lot of venues that are like that. I like to single them out because that's where I got my start. But
Coach Light is where you
and they're good friends.
What time of year was your first gig?
Oh, geez, August, I think.
So it was warmer?
Yeah, and that was with the band.
Really?
So I had the band for years with Dana Krause and my brother. Yeah. And we were the Burglars. And we used to wear white shirts and ties and
really?
Played 50s and 60s rock.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Huh. Where's Dana now?
Oh, he lives down near Rome, and he works for the Arc.
Yeah, he works for, he does like mental health stuff, right? Arc?
I don't know exactly what he does, but I know he works there and loves his job. Yeah, he found his calling.
That's incredible.
And now he's playing in a band, 315. Shout out to 315. They're phenomenal.
Huh. Yeah. I've heard of them. They play in, must be in Rome.
They practice in Boonville.
They really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised you don't hear them.
Yeah. What's your favorite song to perform live?
I've got a lot of covers that I like to perform. Usually I end the show with, there's a couple that I really like to end with, like Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting by Elton John.
Could you perform one of them for us?
But my favorite to perform is original songs. I love, especially, I don't pull them out at every gig, but I notice, if there's like a couple or a guy there or a girl that is really into what I'm doing, and maybe not necessarily the rest of the bar is, I'm like, I'm going to play an original for you, And sometimes I just slip them in there without mentioning. So it's nice to put all that work into a song. And I've been writing songs for years, and my daughter actually said to me one time, I said, oh, I don't play originals live. Nobody wants to hear it. People want to hear Sweet Home Alabama for
something they can sing along to
time.
And dance.
Yes. And my daughter said something that opened my eyes to it. She goes, then what'd you write it for? I'm like, well,
Pip,
okay. Pretty deep for...
That's a good sentence there, Huh.
So now to to her saying that, I play original songs. If
you ever slip
if
them in on the Moose of the Blizzard? They're more rock than country, right?
Can't really do that.
You can't.
No.
Well, who say? I mean, the FFA or whatever would say, or what is it? FCC?
I think the Future Farmers of America would have a problem with that. Yeah.
That's the FFA.
Maybe the Lions Club too.
What is it that like the airwaves?
FAA?
FAA, yeah, that one.
I think.
FAA. Yeah, they'd have a problem with you just throwing on some.
Yeah, you can't really do that.
Yeah, because he has to be.
Yeah, and I'm not one for like playing live on air, but.
How do you stay creative with all this, like everything going on with all your jobs and work and?
I think some people it's easier to be creative. I think
Hectic.
it just, no matter what you do. My dad always said that no matter what you're doing, doesn't matter what you're doing, just do it well. So if you're gonna sweep the floor, do the best job you can. Yeah. And I think a lot of people do well by being creative, like. Sometimes a regular old job, just getting the job done.
Yeah.
It's more fun to do it creatively.
Yeah, creatively.
And sometimes that makes it a whole different thing.
Done is better than perfect too.
Yeah.
It's like what your dad was saying, and then that saying put together, like do it well.
Yeah.
But done is better than perfect. So, because then you can move on to something.
Right.
Keep going. Yeah.
Right. And I'm lucky because the job I have, I can be creative, and it's better if I am creative.
Because you can throw some funny voices in there. You can do voiceovers. You can do like different. I mean, you've done some really incredible things with your voice. Like, this isn't Tony. This is Farmer,
The ads are fun to get creative, but even like the live show in little moments, like I have to read school lunch menus in the morning.
Yeah.
Which at first I'm like, come on, and then I'm like, this is an opportunity to get. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
nobody cares about the school lunch menus really.
Yeah.
Nobody's we gotta tune in. School lunch menus are on.
Chicken nuggets today?
So I'm like, this is my chance to get a little weird with it. Yeah. So I've made it my own, and I do get a little weird with it.
Like,
I love those spur of the moment creative things like that. Makes me happy when you're live for a moment and you can throw a nice little twist on something.
Just read it in a different
and it comes off.
Form. Yeah.
It doesn't always, but
especially when it's like Southern fried chicken, you could be like, "And today it's Southern fried chicken, all down here in South Louis."
I've got a lot of little inside things I do with the menus. Like one of them always ends with canned fruit choices, so I try to say canned fruit choices in a different way every single day. It's canned fruit choices, 3 words. But every day I've done it, I think I've done it a different way. Canned fruit choices. You know what I mean? Or canned fruit choices. Canned fruit choices. There's a million ways you can do it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, just
and
3 simple
there's
words.
a lot of insight. I've taken the school lunch menus and turned it into my little mini podcast to where there's all sorts of inside. I mentioned my friend Morgan because he told me once he loves school lunch menus. So Morgan has a favorite every day.
Yeah.
And usually it's the weird item on the menu, like mini corn dogs is Morgan's favorite, or pancake on a stick is Morgan's favorite. Every day it's a different one.
Man, so those are my favorites too. Like every, the yummy stuff.
My friend Willie listens.
What's that?
I always throw his name in there.
That's Paulie Hance, right? Paulie's favorite part.
Paulie's favorite part. Paulie's second favorite part.
Yeah, what's that?
That's what Paulie's second favorite part is. His first favorite part is, gotta ask Paulie.
Yeah, it is Paulie.
Yeah, he'll tell you.
I love talking to Paulie.
Oh, Paulie's the best.
I love Paulie, but sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, Paulie, come here real quick." And I'll talk to him, and right before he leaves, he goes, "Sorry to bother you, Brian." I'm like, "Dude,
always apologetic. Paulie, we love talking with you.
I'm sorry I interrupted your day, Paulie."
He'll call me at the radio station, and it's like, "Paulie, it's fine.
Yeah,
you can call.
You're great.
Oh, I know you're busy. I know, but I like taking time.
Yeah, I love to talk to you. Yeah, I'll go out of my way to come over and see you. Yeah, because he's just such a helpful, nice, happy guy.
Yeah.
And all the everything that happens is like, okay, tomorrow I'll be back.
He's got a great attitude.
Yes, he does. Yeah. People need to be more like
you. Have a great attitude.
I try. Yeah.
I was just telling somebody that the other day. It's like every time I talk to Brian, it's like, oh, that was nice. That was fun.
I try to
always make me giggle a little.
Yeah.
Sometimes you say things I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, I figured out like later on in life, like I try to leave places better than when I got there, and I try to make people feel better than they were. Like just saying good, hello, young lady, to an older lady, just changes their whole day. And it makes it like, and stuff you say on the radio does that too. People will be like, that was great. And,
sometimes it ruins their day.
Yeah, sometimes.
And they are not afraid to call.
No, they don't. No.
315-376-7500. Let me know how you feel.
Yeah. E-Train's usually there early in the morning.
His is 4311 942.
4311, yeah. Well,
give him a call.
Do you have any nightmares or funny things that happen during a gig?
Oh, during a gig. I do have nightmares. I think everyone does. I have a recurring dream since I was a child that I'm being chased in the woods. And there's these trees that are a little fuzzy on the outside. I don't know what they're called, but they grow around here and they look like the Japanese paintings, those kind of trees.
Like pussy willows?
No, but that's
fuzzy.
That's a funny plant.
Yeah, it is a plant.
But they got a little fuzz on the outside, and I'm running through the woods being chased by a velociraptor, very specific. Mm-hmm. And it's getting closer and closer, and those trees are getting thicker and thicker, and I can't get through them. And just when I turn around and it's about ready to bite my head off, I wake up. And I've had that dream since I was a kid.
Wow.
It's not very often anymore, but like every 6 months or so,
intense,
it shows up and gets me.
It's a really intense, crazy dream.
Yeah.
So what about like something that's horrendous that's happened during a gig?
Oh, a gig. Basically, it's your equipment fails, and I try to have double everything, but you can't have double everything. So that happens, and there's been a lot of shows where the crowd just doesn't look up. Especially the younger crowds, they're on their phones or into their... There's been a few where I can't get their attention no matter what I do. Nobody claps, nobody looks. It's really awkward in between songs. Yeah, try to say something on the mic and it just doesn't work.
And they're not even there. They're like not present.
Right. And then you get done, they'll go and turn on the jukebox and play a song that you played during your set. And everyone in the bar sings along and has a great time to it.
Yeah, that's
so there's been those are soul-sucking nights.
Yeah, that really.
So that's why I like playing places like the American and Coach Light, and I need one of those for my soul every once in a while to get through because the other places will pay me.
I've played
and they'll keep having me.
They've paid me and Lisa, and there's been places where it's been bad like that. Where do you envision yourself 10 years from now?
Oh, I'd be in my 50s. And I'd like to still be at the Moose. I hate to see... I'd like to have George's legacy, just work there till I die. I don't think my wife would be happy with that. But 10 years, I'd definitely still be there.
Yeah.
I'd like to at least have more music recorded. Recording takes so long.
I think your wife would love it if you were to be able to break free to the Moose, or from the Moose to the Blizzard.
Oh, the Blizzard, yeah, that's definitely a goal.
Then you could be your legacy.
Yeah,
and
I'm a huge classic rock fan, so it'd be really nice to.
Right, Heather let you die there then. If you were like playing rock music on Blizzard.
It depends on my insurance situation at the time.
that's yeah. That with any relationship or any work or anything, it's crazy how since the Obamacare came, people have to worry about that stuff so much more.
I meant life insurance. As long as she's set up, I can die whenever.
I know, like I was telling Lisa, my girlfriend's mom, the other day that I was like, well, when I die, Lisa gets all this anyway. It's already half hers. I go, she better get a really good life insurance policy first, though, because then I'll fall off the roof, No,
I think my wife wants me to live forever. Yeah, I'm 9 years older than her, so...
But you guys are still in love. Like, you guys laugh and enjoy each other's company, and you're, co-parenting and have a great time. And
I wish that for everyone. Sometimes I feel guilty that, like...
It's hard, man.
My love life is great. My wife and I love each other, and I see so much of it, and just it doesn't last nowadays. I wish I could give some sort of advice that would help out with that.
That'd be great.
I think the best advice is fight if you need to.
Yeah,
you know, not physically.
Talk and argue,
obviously.
and as soon as you have
don't say anything hurtful, but get your feelings known.
Talk about
Communication
it.
is important.
Don't let it sit there and stew.
Yep.
Talk about it. Like, hey, you pissed me off. Here's what you did. Here's what I'd like you to do about it, and move on. If you sit there and stew on it, you're never gonna get along.
That, and you chose to be with each other, so take that commitment seriously. And if it's a lot of people are like, it didn't work out. It's like, well,
I didn't know that
then
Heather was.
Work on it.
She's younger than me then.
Oh, she's young.
35, 8. How old is she?
She is 33, almost 34.
So she's older
I did not say that.
She's older than B-Train, though.
Yeah, she is.
He's still the kid.
Is that what you go by?
No,
that's the gauge.
there now.
Yeah, Malcolm's the new kid.
And then Pip's the kid, and then I can't.
Atreus. Yeah, he's even littler.
Yeah, he'll be
That's
coming.
how time works.
Yeah, he'll be coming into work soon. Like,
I'm sure.
On the mic,
He's probably doing sales right now as we speak.
Probably, yeah, riding around on a Tesla. If you could leave your audience with one lasting impression, what would it be?
I wish I would have, found what I wanted to do and how I want to do it earlier in life. I was just too obsessed with partying and having a good time and feeling good up here, just me up here.
Yeah.
And I think it's more important. And you don't realize it until you get there. And a lot of times life experiences are what get you there. But just to be content with where you are, but also with having hope and goals.
Yeah.
To keep you, that carrot out in front of you.
So, like, the lasting thing would be have goals, like,
definitely have some goals
to be happy about too. Like, if you I don't know how to say it, but if you're trying to accomplish a goal that you're not going to be happy or satisfied with in the end, don't make it a goal. Like,
yeah. Well, and also the goals, the end result isn't the reason to have the goal. The journey is the important part.
Yep.
When you get what you want, it's never what you want.
No, it isn't.
But the journey there should be the fun part, and that should be the learning part, and that should be the journey is the most important.
Because the errors that you make to learn the right way to get there is the fun part.
But you got to take out all those chocks on the wheels. I spent so much of my life just drinking and smoking pot, and it just slowed me down from all the stuff that I really wanted to do. Just because it felt good in the moment. And also it was like, well, if I do this, then nobody's going to expect that I'm going to do anything great.
Yeah.
And I think all your goals should be attainable, but you should also have a few that you think maybe are unattainable, but
like dreams,
maybe
dreams that you could still achieve. Like,
play the lottery, but with your life. You know what I mean? Just
because you should
don't give up either. I mean, look at who's the guy? Shawshank Redemption.
Tim Robbins or Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't get a great movie career until he was pretty much retirement age. So
way after Robin Hood, because he was in Robin Hood with the real Robin Hood. And then it was years later before you saw him again, like his career taking off. What did you want to be when you were a kid? Like, what did you want to be when you grew up when you were a kid?
I always wanted to be a helicopter pilot, and then I have bad vision, so I wear contacts. So it just wasn't going to work out.
You've ridden in planes? And
when I was a kid, my parents knew that I wanted to be a helicopter pilot, so Spook Hill Farms up in Adams had helicopter rides, and we did not grow up well off, and they shelled out some money to get me a ride on the helicopter, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was incredible. It was October 7th. I remember the date.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and my dad loved books on Vietnam, and he was in the military, and he wasn't in Vietnam, but he loved the books, and so I read a lot of those and about the crazy things the helicopter pilots did, and I just always loved the thrill of that and thought that would have been great, but I loved music. I always wanted to be a rock star.
For your parents to just, hey, he wants to do this. Let's show him what it's going to be like.
Uh-huh.
And save up for months. They didn't just, they saved up for that for you for like a present or, that's incredible, dude. It's really like, that's heartwarming to hear that.
So supportive.
Yeah,
and I
think very supportive.
As a parent, anyone out there that's a parent, that's the best thing you can do is just support whatever your kid wants to do. I mean, as long as it's healthy,
absolutely,
and not going to harm them.
Be supportive. Yeah.
Just be supportive, and sometimes that means just not saying anything. Yeah. Just saying, that's a great thing.
Constructive criticism is damaging to your kids' like mental health because you're just being, criticizing them.
Yeah.
And they're taking it like you don't want them to do that or something. So you really have to be careful with that. Just be very supportive. That's great. Whose idea was it? Like, whose idea was it for the teepee in your yard when we were all kids?
That's my dad.
Okay.
My dad always.
We had this real teepee in the yard when we were kids. Dude, you drive by, it's like, I will play in that teepee.
Full size teepee. It was cool. We had some bunks in there. We used to sleep in there. It's kind of a Levesque trait that my dad always had a million ideas. He was a mechanic and a welder at Kraft. He made
some really cool stuff.
Yeah, he was a fabricator, so he would just make anything. He'd have an idea and he would make it. And I have the same thing. My wife will tell you. I have a million ideas, and they're all great, wonderful, awesome ideas. And every once in a while, one of them will turn into something, and that's how I feel. Like if you play enough lottery tickets, one of them's got to be a winner.
Some of it, not even like the winner of the whole thing, but you might win a nice tenth of the chunk.
Yeah, but my dad was known for, like, if he had an idea, it was gonna happen. He was gonna make it. It would be stupid.
He did make a lot of cool stuff. Like he even got like permission and like paperwork, and he'd go talk to the people to find out what he had and could and couldn't do to make things work. Like
he and his friend built a pump car for the railroad.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about in my because he had to go to like the train engineers and find out brakes
and have an authority from the train to be there when they put it on the tracks. But we took the thing from Fort Lyden to Boonville, from Lowville to Krogan, the old timey pump car. TV, they scaled it up from a stamp. They scaled it up and built it and got
from a stamp.
It was all original minus the wheels. The wheels were
probably a 9-cent stamp or something. That things were.
We built street luge when I was a kid. Yeah, I still got the scar from it.
Still got the scar. Is that like the last question before we leave? What's with the hot sauce? Like, was that one of your
many ideas?
Many ideas.
I love hot sauce. Years ago, I'm like, well, I can make it. I just Googled it and made some hot sauce. And every time the wife would grow a garden, she grew a bunch of peppers for me, and I'd tinker with the recipe. And over the years, I come up with a decent one and threw some bacon in it. And so I make my own hot sauce.
Or you sell it too, like at different places. No?
I give it away.
Give it away?
Yeah. It's easier to make a bigger batch, so I can only have so much hot sauce. So I started giving it away. So I started getting these little bottles and.
And you got a label on there that says,
And because I'm just giving it away,
you don't have to have
can
a formula
make a goofy label if I want.
Improvement or anything. Yeah.
I would put in part of the ingredients was Sasquatch hair, and, the tears of a clown. And,
tears of a clown.
So.
Are you going to play us one of your original songs?
Oh, well.
I want to hear something.
If you want.
Because you got some really good ones in that book.
Oh, yeah.
That book's incredible, man.
So I've been working on recording an album. I wrote 13 to 15 songs this summer. And
just this last summer?
Just this last summer.
Well, they gotta be really good.
No. They're okay. Some of them are good.
Touching on like different what are they?
Different things. I just did it as like an exercise. It's like I hadn't written a song in years, and I said, I'm going to sit down and write a song. And so I did. And then the next day, I'm like, I'm going to write another song. So I did. And then over the summer.
It started flowing out of you, huh?
Yep. And now I try to keep it in as a practice it's an exercise to, try to write a song.
Journaling or writing.
Yep.
It's really good to keep up on. And then do you take, when you're writing, do you write like a song, writing lyrics? and kind of chop a few lyrics from other songs and put them into...
Songwriting process seems to be different every time I do it.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll have an idea for lyrics and I'll write them down, or other times I'll be playing something and singing something and I find the chorus, or it always varies every time I do it. Sometimes it's the same formula, but
And just kind of...
once creativity starts, then it kind of snowballs. So, and then sometimes I'll have half a song written and then a couple weeks later say, oh, I got the perfect part. And in fact, I wrote a song for my daughter, and every time I sing it, it makes her cry if I play it at a gig or something. And I thought, I should write a song for her to sing. So I started writing a song, and I got half a verse, half a chorus. I said, she's in the other room. I said, come on in, let's write. So we co-wrote a song together that she sings.
And it's her song.
It's her song.
Incredible.
And so I'm in the process of recording. I've got one song fully recorded. It's ready to go. I've got about 6 that are halfway done. And
they're like rock?
A little bit of everything. I've got one like a slow, depressing 90s song. I've got a country song on there. I tried to write a song, put myself in the shoes of the old country stars and writing just a well-rounded, basic country song.
Like Grand Old Opry going into the song.
Del Reeves, old really? Johnny Cash kind of old country song.
I can't wait to hear that. That sounds really good.
And then I wrote a love song for my wife. I wrote a song for my daughter.
Like once you cut the album and it's out, could you play it? Then you could play it on the radio.
That'd be solicited, so I really couldn't. I could submit it to other stations to see. I don't think it would be fair to
play your own.
Use my privilege.
Yeah. But like people who open for the local band, like Lowville and Cooper Allen, the songs that they had, we played on the Moose.
Right.
So like,
well,
it just seems like you should be able to.
I think it's kind of weird that I work there. It's like if you sign up for a prize to win a prize at the place you work,
you can't win it.
It's a little weird. Yeah.
If you win it and you work there, it is. Yeah.
I don't ever plan to make it big with an album, or the whole idea with this album was to just kind of have a timestamp, kind of have something for my daughter in the future or my grandkids to, hey, did you know your grandfather made an album one time? Just kind of. So not all the songs, but 3/4 of them are really personal, and some are just a songwriting exercise that turned out decent, so I kept it. But. All right, here's one I wrote. This is just a couple weeks ago I wrote. I spent probably 4 years before I met my wife. I had gone through bad relationships. I said, I'm just okay with being an old bachelor. Fine by me, And then I met my wife, and it was literally love at first sight. So as soon as we met, I went to work that night, and I said, I found the girl I'm going to marry. And we got married. It was less than a year later. So this is kind of about that, but with like a western feel. It's called The Tumbleweed. So, all right.
Like a tumbleweed floating on the breeze, direction unknown. Wheels and freeze so carelessly, my heart without a home. I've been all over, going with the flow, just getting older, looking over my shoulder. Till now, like a sudden rain washing over the plain, there and I'm gone. floating on the breeze, direction unknown. We listen free, so carelessly on without a home. Been all over, going the flow, just getting on and on, looking over my shoulder. Till now, till now.
Thank you.
The way you spoke about the way you found your wife and then you sang that song, I was thinking about you right before you met your wife, dude. That was pretty incredible, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. That was
Thanks
great.
for letting me play here and be a part of all this.
This is amazing, man. I really enjoyed that song.
Thank you.
And it's going to be on the album?
That'll be on the album, yep.
Sweet.
In the process of recording it.
How much longer do you think that you're fully recorded on your album?
It's hard to put a timeline on that. I thought by now I'd have it done. I thought by Christmas, and then it's hard to schedule time to be creative, So
Well, we got
that's what
recorded.
it is. There we go. Yeah.
It's recorded one on in the studio just
I
now.
do have one song fully recorded. I haven't released it. I was waiting for it to be on the album because I like the idea of the album.
Yeah, the album.
But if you guys are interested, I'll let you. I'll send you a copy, and you can do whatever you want with it. If you want to tack it on and put it on some credits or something.
That'd be cool if you don't care. If we,
Yeah, I won't post it on any of my stuff, but I'll give it to you guys exclusive
that'd
or
be
whatever.
cool to be right on the. Put the link right with this episode.
Sure. Want to sing it?
Yeah.
Oh, I have it recorded. I mean,
Okay. All right.
Sweet.
it's fully processed, all ready to go. So.
Well,
That one's
thank
more
you
of a
for-
sad written story, about being lonely in the back of a van. But
Huh? I think we've all been there too. Like that song. Like,
I
when I was
we've all
listening
been
to
there.
that song, like the words, I could absolutely relate to a lot of that stuff.
I noticed a lot of the album kind of falls into that type of thing. I got a few songs about sobriety. I've been sober now for almost 6 years,
For
and
you, man. Oh,
yeah, thank you.
Incredible.
So nobody wants to hear a song about sobriety, but maybe there are some
There
people
are,
out there
'cause,
that
like,
would.
I've been sober, and like I listen to certain people that I know are in AA, and their music like doesn't ever talk about like drinking, partying, or a lot of country music. You work at a country radio station, they talk about drinking, and partying and stuff. Just to know, like, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind hearing your sobriety songs.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough. The road to recovery is not a straight and straight and easy road to travel.
Right.
It takes.
And it's different for every person.
Yep.
Some people go to AA. I've been lucky enough to not ever need to.
Some
I quit
people.
cold turkey, and it was rough. Still is rough. At times it's
Coping with reality sober is not.
Yeah. And it takes a long time to relearn your life and relearn how to deal
figure
with
out
it.
who you are again, because
Yeah.
you were, self-medicating and keeping yourself.
And
in
you're
that,
readjusting
thought
your
you had
brain.
to.
Every decision you make is different because you're
Social-
looking at everything with a different.
social cues and the social anxiety and the social awkwardness. That's why we drank and drugged, because it took that away. So being able to go out in society and be sociable with people again is like both of us being sober right now and being able to talk and carry on a conversation. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that sober.
Yeah.
I didn't think people wanted me to neither. That's why
But this conversation is a lot better sober.
yeah,
I think we'd be making a lot of cuts.
So this has been another episode of Stoney Shire Soapbox, and we look forward to you guys watching us again.
Thanks for having me.
Never thought I would feel lonely again. Lo and behold, here I am. singing my songs in the back of this van. Hello, lonely, here I am. I only wanted to say goodbye. I only wanted to ask you why. Never thought I would feel lonely again. Lo and behold, here I am. Singing my songs in the back of this van. Hello, lonely, here I am. Always scared, always there for me. Without a care, laid bare for all to see. Never thought I would feel lonely again. Lo and behold, here I am. Singing my songs in the back of this van. Hello, lonely, here I am.
Hey, before you head out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. Every little bit helps in the long-term goals. Stay in the loop and follow us on Facebook, because trust me, you don't want to miss out what's to come. Join into our group pages and join the fun. And while you're at it, why not see what's happening at StoneyShire.com? Want to contribute to our cause? You can donate through our website or make a purchase at our shops. It all goes right back into building this dream. All those links can be found below in the description. Are you an artist? A writer? A juggler? Cheese maker? Or something in between? Whatever your talent is, we want to hear about it. So why not send us an email and tell us what it is, and discover where passion really gains a voice.